Hey YouTube, so good morning. I'm just taking out the morning trash. So here's my quick review on the recent revival of Sex and the City. Now, I watched the show when it came out like years ago, and this was like during probably my high school year, and I was watching it, bored out of my mind upon watching it because the four main characters, Carrie, Miranda, Samantha, and Charlotte. Just okay. So if the show takes place in classic New York before, you know, the tragic event of September 11th, 2001, when the Twin Towers were still standing in Manhattan and whatnot, tell me why these four fictional characters act like they couldn't find at least one, if not more, attractive black men that are successful, have their own business and all that good stuff. But instead, all I get is one of the main characters, Carrie, hooking up with a guy that's not loyally faithful to her, named Alexander Big. And I'm just like looking at this show and I'm just like, okay, you're not really entertaining me and I'm not feeling this story. So there's really no point of me getting invested with this show if you're just going to tell me the same bland story. It's like kind of like being in an algebra class in high school, like and learning the same basic stuff, and to the point where you just like, dude, I'm not trying to become a construction worker. So what's the point of me learning algebra if algebra is not going to help me pay mortgage on time, let alone everything else that is mostly a requirement for adulthood. So yeah, it's like Sex in the City is just, I don't know, man. It's just that it's a I don't hate the show. I just need it to be better. Like, I'm gonna need these fictional characters to stop acting like they couldn't at least find one attractive black men, and then they keep hooking up with these like random white guys. There's like, you got Miranda, I think that's the redheaded one, hooking up with some guy that plays the piano, white guy that plays the piano, when she could have been like got with a black jazz musician, a famous black jazz musician. And Charlotte, same thing. She could have got with a black guy that owns his own coffee shop. And Samantha could have got with a firefighter captain, or a black firefighter captain, or a black police commissioner, or a DEA. Hell, let alone vice president of the United States. But instead, no, all we get is the same bland story, like I said before. And it's just like, I know there's some people that love it and all that, but I'm just not feeling it. Like, the same way you won't be feeling like a certain dish of food that you get tired of eating, let alone seeing at fucking Walmart, because, the inventory of Walmart doesn't really change. It's just like you keep going back and forth, buying the same products, only for the manufacturer of the product to keep getting you less of the product quantities within the package. So yeah, Sex and the City, it could have been better upon its revival, but of course, I don't know why I'd expected anything different from a show that was created by some white guy. So yeah, it could have been created by, a black man in Brooklyn or a fine white woman in Manhattan. But yeah, it's whatever at this point now. So later, YouTube.